The Cleveland Browns are starting to look like the team nobody in the AFC North wanted to see wake up this early. Last season left them buried at the bottom of the division. But this spring feels different. Not loud in a fake way. Different in the kind of way that shows up when a front office spends big, a new coach raises the heat, and every player in the building knows the old version of this team is gone. Todd Monken did not walk into Cleveland to babysit a rebuild. He walked in and started turning OTAs into a pressure test. And that pressure is touching everything. Deshaun Watson is back in the middle of the storm, trying to take control before anyone else can. Shedeur Sanders is no longer just a name pulling cameras toward practice. He is the young quarterback everyone is measuring against the veteran. Dillon Gabriel is still fighting. Taylon Green, the rookie with the huge frame and raw tools, is sitting there like the wild card nobody wants to ignore. Then look around them. Jerry Jeudy has help coming. KC Concepcion and Denzel Boston bring new speed. The offensive line has been rebuilt with Titus Howard, Zion Johnson, Elkton Jenkins, Tevin Jenkins, and Spencer Fano. That is not a small adjustment. That is a full identity change. But the part that makes this dangerous is the defense never disappeared. Myles Garrett is still the face of the whole thing. Denzel Ward still gives the secondary real bite. Grant Delpit still brings the edge. Mason Graham and Carson Schwessinger give this front a younger core with real force behind it. So now the question is not whether the Browns have talent. They do. The question is whether this quarterback room can survive the heat, because one chair is waiting, four arms are chasing it, and the first real clue is coming from the battle everyone in Cleveland is watching. The Cleveland Browns quarterback room is not crowded anymore, it is combustible. Deshaun Watson walks in with the veteran name, the contract, and the pressure of a city that still wants answers. Shedeur Sanders walks in with noise around him, but now the noise has real weight because teammates see growth. Dillon Gabriel is not here for decoration. Taylon Green is the rookie with the body and speed that makes every coach pause. This is where OTAs stop feeling like practice and start feeling like a test. Every throw tells the staff something. Every huddle shows who owns the room. Watson has his experience, and that matters when protections change before the snap. Shedeur has the calm rise that pulls attention without needing to force it. Gabriel has to prove he can keep pace in a room that keeps getting louder. Green has to show that raw talent can turn into real command, not just flash. But the Browns are not choosing a quarterback for headlines. They are choosing the man who can survive this offense when the pads come on and the AFC North starts swinging. That is why this battle feels bigger than a normal depth chart fight. The starter has to protect the ball, control the tempo, and make the new line look settled before defenses smell weakness. One bad week can change the room. One strong run can flip the story. And right now, the most watched name in Cleveland might be the one trying to turn attention into trust. Shedeur Sanders is the name that turns a normal Cleveland Browns practice into a full conversation. Cameras follow him. Fans study every clip. Every pass gets judged like it decides the season. But the real story is not the attention. The real story is whether Shedeur is turning that attention into control. Last year gave him lessons nobody can fake. Now every snap has a different feel, because he is not walking around like a visitor anymore. He looks like someone trying to claim space in a room that already has a veteran waiting. That is why Jerry Jeudy matters in this story. A receiver can feel a quarterback before anyone else can explain it. Timing, eye contact, ball placement, confidence in the huddle, those details tell the truth. When Jeudy praises the jump from Shedeur, it does not mean the job is finished. It means teammates are seeing something worth taking seriously. That matters inside a building where respect is earned in small moments. A clean read here, a calmer pocket there, a better answer after a missed throw. That is how a young quarterback stops being a headline and starts becoming a problem for the depth chart. Still, this is where the trap sits. Attention can fool people. Hype can make a decent practice sound like a breakthrough. Shedeur has to beat that. He has to make Todd Monken trust him with the hard parts, not just the easy throws. He has to show he can handle pressures looks, quick checks, and ugly downs when the play does not open clean. If he keeps stacking those moments, the Browns cannot ignore him for long. But if the staff still feels Deshaun Watson gives them the safer hand, the spotlight will not be enough. The next clue sits in the offense built around them, because Cleveland did not spend all spring rebuilding the line for a casual experiment. They built it to reveal who can run the real attack, who can protect the ball, and who can turn spring noise into something defenses must fear when Sundays finally arrive. The loudest clue in Cleveland is not the quarterback clip everyone keeps replaying. It is the wall forming in front of him. Andrew Berry did not patch the offensive line with spare parts. He attacked it like the whole season was hiding there. Titus Howard came in from Houston with starting experience. Zion Johnson arrived to bring power inside. Elgton Jenkins gives the middle more strength and flexibility. Teven Jenkins stayed in the picture. Then the Browns used the 9th pick on Spencer Fano, the rookie tackle built to change the edge of the pocket. That is not normal offseason maintenance. That is a full bet on a harder identity now. That tells you what Todd Monken wants this offense to become. Not cute, not soft. Not an attack that asks the quarterback to save every broken play. He wants a front that can lean on people, move bodies, and make defenses feel the game before halftime. That matters for Deshaun Watson because a veteran quarterback needs clean answers before the rush arrives. It matters for Shedeur Sanders because a young passer cannot win the job on arm talent alone. He has to read the front, trust the slide, and know where the pressure is coming from before it ruins the snap. This is why the line might decide the whole quarterback battle. The Browns are not only testing throws in May, they are testing who can run a real offense behind a group still learning each other. One missed call up front can make a good quarterback look lost. One strong pocket can make the same play look easy. That is the hidden tension. Howard Johnson, Elgton Jenkins, Teven Jenkins, and Fano are not just new names on the depth chart. They are the filter. They will show which quarterback can handle the system, which runner gets lanes, and which receiver gets time to break open. And once that protection starts to settle, the next question becomes even sharper. Does Cleveland already have enough weapons to punish teams, or is this room still one move away from becoming dangerous? The Cleveland Browns did not rebuild the front just to hide the ball. They rebuilt it because the passing game needs room to breathe again. Jerry Jeudy is the steady piece, the receiver who already understands how fast a quarterback room can change. Around him, the Browns added Casey Concepcion and Denzel Boston, 2 rookie targets with totally different ways to stress a defense. One wins with quick feet and sudden cuts. The other brings size, reach, and that outside presence Cleveland has needed for too long. That mix matters because no AFC North corner wants the same body type, same release, and same route tempo every drive. But the more interesting name might be Isaiah Bond. He is not the shiny new pick, which makes him easy to overlook, and that is dangerous. Speed changes how safeties stand before the snap. Speed forces corners to open their hips earlier than they want. If Bond keeps turning deep routes into real pressure, Shedeur Sanders, Deshaun Watson, and every quarterback in that room suddenly gets a cleaner field underneath. Then Tylan Wallace adds toughness, special teams value, and a trusted veteran path into Todd Monken's system. This receiver group is not proven yet, but it is no longer empty. It gives Cleveland answers without changing the whole call sheet. The hidden layer sits at tight end and running back. Harold Fannin Jr. gives Cleveland a young target who can work the middle when wideouts pull coverage outside. Quinshon Judkins gives the offense the kind of back who can make defenses pay if they play too light. That is where the whole thing starts to connect. The Browns do not need one superstar to fix everything. They need enough answers to make defenses hesitate weakly. If Jeudy controls the timing, Concepcion and Boston grow fast, Bond stretches the field, and Fannin owns the soft spots, the quarterback decision gets easier. But there is one problem. All those weapons only matter if the defense keeps games close enough for the offense to grow, and Cleveland still has monsters waiting on the other side. The scary part about the Cleveland Browns is that the defense is not some side story waiting for the offense to catch up. It is still the thing opponents have to deal with first. Myles Garrett does not need a loud spring to remind anyone who he is. When a defense has a player who can ruin the cleanest game plan with one rush, every quarterback on the schedule feels it before the ball is snapped. That gives Cleveland a different kind of floor, even while everything around the offense is still being tested right from week 1. Then look at the layers behind him. Denzel Ward brings real coverage confidence when the games matter. Grant Delpit gives the back end a physical voice. Mason Graham is no longer learning from the outside. He is part of the front that has to make the pocket feel crowded. Carson Schwessinger, last season's Defensive Rookie of the Year, now has a bigger job because teams will study him differently. That is what happens when a young defender announces himself too quickly. The league adjusts, and the player has to answer with more than one strong year. The change comes with Mike Rutenberg. Replacing Jim Schwartz is not light work because the Browns' defense already had a clear edge and is in a strong identity. But Rudenberg is not walking into an empty room. He is taking over a group with stars, speed, and enough attitude to keep pressure on the whole building. That matters because early in the season, the offense might still be finding its timing. New line, new weapons, quarterback heat, that takes time. The defense can buy that time. It can steal short fields. It can keep ugly games alive long enough for one drive to swing everything. And if Cleveland keeps games close, the whole division has a problem. Because the AFC North is not waiting for the Browns to grow slowly. It is coming with power, big quarterbacks, and pressure every week, which makes the next question simple. Can this new Browns team survive the toughest street in football? The Cleveland Browns can look improved in May and still face the truth nobody in that building gets to dodge. The AFC North does not care about spring buzz. It punishes weak edges, slow starts, bad protection calls, and quarterbacks who need extra time to breathe. That is why this Browns story feels so sharp. They are not trying to climb through a soft division. They are trying to rise while Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, and Aaron Rodgers are all sitting on the schedule with teams built to expose every mistake. Cincinnati still has Burrow throwing to Ja'Marr Chase, which means one busted coverage can flip a whole afternoon. Baltimore still has Jackson and Derrick Henry, a pairing that forces defenses to tackle power and chase speed on the same drive. Pittsburgh brings Rodgers, DK Metcalf, and Mike McCarthy, and even if that offense is new again, nobody treats that place like an easy stop. Then add the coaching changes around the division. Todd Monken is building something new in Cleveland, while Jesse Minter now carries the Baltimore pressure. Every team is adjusting, but every team still has teeth. That is where the Browns have a real opening, not a gift. An opening. If their defense keeps games tight, if the rebuilt line travels well, and if the quarterback room gives them steady play instead of weekly drama, Cleveland can drag these division games into the fourth quarter where one sack, one turnover, or one deep ball changes everything. The schedule starts with road pressure, then the home stretches become chances to build belief. But belief is cheap until it survives Pittsburgh, Baltimore, and Cincinnati. This pressure is exactly why the final win total argument starts to hit with real weight and force. This team will not be judged by how good it looks in shorts. It will be judged by whether it can take a hit from the toughest division in football and hit back harder. And that is why the win total debate suddenly feels too small for what is forming in Cleveland right now behind the noise. The Cleveland Browns are sitting under a number that feels too small for the storm they are building. 6.5 wins sounds fair if you stare at last season alone. That is the lazy read. The real read starts with the changes. Todd Monken is here. The line is rebuilt. The quarterback room has pressure. The defense still has game breakers. This is not a clean team yet, but it is not a dead team either. That difference matters. The season comes down to 3 questions. Can Deshaun Watson give Cleveland steady football if he wins the job? Can Shedeur Sanders push hard enough to make the staff rethink the timeline? Can Mike Rutenberg keep the defense sharp while the offense finds its rhythm? If those answers lean even slightly right, the Browns become a problem fast. Myles Garrett gives them a chance every week. Denzel Ward can erase mistakes on the back end. Carson Schlesinger is no longer the surprise young defender. He is part of the standard now. Add Mason Graham, Grant Delpit, and a tougher front on offense, and suddenly those close losses have a different shape. That is why the win total is the real argument. Cleveland does not need a perfect season to beat that number. It needs cleaner quarterback play, fewer wasted drives, and an offense that stops putting the defense in impossible spots. 8 wins feels reachable if the line settles early. 9 becomes realistic if the quarterback decision lands right and the young weapons grow before October. Nobody should crown them yet. That would be too easy. But ignoring them is just as foolish. The Browns have enough talent to make Sundays uncomfortable, enough coaching change to feel fresh, and enough doubt around them to become dangerous fast. So when people laugh at the number, let them. Cleveland has spent the whole spring building something louder than a prediction. And if this quarterback battle gives them one real answer, the AFC North might find out too late that the Browns were never as far away as everyone wanted to believe.